The camera industry is dying, my friend. Once a thriving community of photographers just trying to take a picture of a flamingo, share it on MySpace. What now? What now? The smartphone has killed us. So today we talk a little smartphone life. Have smartphones killed cameras? Should I get one? First of all, and will I? Which one should I? We'll compare a couple that have caught my eye. Interesting ones. Smartphone conspiracies.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So I figure we do a handheld video today. We're on the Sony a7S III Laowa 15mm Tony 2 at 2.8. Just because I know I'm dumb and I'm going to miss that focus. Did I get it? 2.8, there's a chance. There's a small chance. And that's definitely not my light source. That's a wide lens. That ruins all secrets. Smartphones. So I've been debating it. I don't love the ergonomics, especially filming yourself. All the best cameras are on the back. Oh, that's so irritating. And there's only like a couple gimmick phones that flip the camera. That should be every camera. I've been debating a couple, but first, let's just talk about it. Have smartphones killed cameras? In my opinion, no, because it's not even close. Like a 1-inch sensor looks, actually, the ones we're talking about are close to 1-inch sensors. Don't listen to anything I say, I know nothing. But when it comes to image quality, like a full frame camera, the separation, the real, not fake tone mode. Get real with yourself. You'll never get that. Maybe one day, a full frame smartphone, that's what I'm waiting for. I hope it happens. That should happen one day. Just as a side note, do you know that my search for the perfect camera involved this scenario? This is what my plan was. This is why I wanted IBIS. Just so I could hand hold my camera in here, no tripod, because I was in Thailand. I had no desk space. I wasn't going to set up a tripod, so it had to be handheld, wide lens, autofocus. We got it. We reached it. The pinnacle, you're watching it. This is the cinema. We didn't know it was this simple. I see lots of smartphone versus this cinema camera comparisons on YouTube, and I can see it. It's very obvious, but honestly, sometimes the smartphone looks like the better image, even though I know the other one was the black magic. It's so much more cinematic, the dynamic range, but it's softer. And like most people are just gonna see the smartphone images like that's the better one. There's more detail, not always, a little over sharpened, but they're getting more natural. Speaking of nature, the reality is smartphones have caught up feature-wise to cameras. They do better things faster, better low light sometimes. These small, tiny cameras with their night modes, and it's like computational. I myself am very happy with this Sony a7S III. I would never need anything more. What I'm looking for now is a small, tiny, fun camera. And as I research, I have the GoPro 9, but it glitches so much, it annoys my spirit. So like, there's no better camera than the GoPro, just others that work and as good, they match the specs, but really, I blew myself away when I found the Huawei. That's not even close. Huawei. Huawei, it's pronounced as shut your mouth. Something caught my eye here though. Smartphones weren't on the option. I tested the iPhone 11 Pro and Samsung Note 10 Plus and they were so trash. I was filming in 1080p though. I didn't even try the 4K. I didn't have a machine that could handle it. So maybe my opinion would have changed, but I'm looking up at these phones here. The Huawei Mate 40 Pro and the P40 Pro. Side by side. They got almost 1-inch sensors. How many frames per second? 7,680 frames per second in 720p, although it's frame interpolation. It's not real, but damn if it looks kind of real. They got 480p, 1080p, 960p, just like the Sony ZV-1, only with a wide-angle lens, I think. I don't know, because YouTube hobos don't give me the stats I need. They don't test all things. I've watched every review ever made on these Huawei phones. Not one scrub has tested all the things I need to know. Can you do these super slow motions with the wide-angle rear cam? I don't know. Nobody's saying it. It's like, oh, we can do this. Which camera did it? And I can't decide for the life of me between the Mate 40 Pro and the P40 Pro, because the Mate is the flagship and it's so much more stupid money. I can get this P40 Pro used for like $850. I haven't seen used ones on the Mate. I think it's too new. $21.50 Canadian. That's at least $7 Norwegian dollars. We're talking Norwegian here. The weird thing is I cannot find this information online because YouTube hobos suck. It looks like the P40 Pro, the worst one, has 1080p 960 frames per second, whereas the Mate is 960 in 720p. So that's worse. Is it possible that the flagship has worse slow-mo? Because that would be devastating to me. That's why I'm considering this thing. Because you have your DJI Pocket 2, fantastic looking. I want to try one. Camera Canada, got one. Got my back. Maybe Pergear is sending me the thing that's not yet released that I'm not allowed to say. What? How you doing? What, is that a cat on your lap? Oh, lucky you. The odds of there being a cat on your lap, not good. But the one person that there was, I just said hello to your cat from the future, from the past. I'll leave. Also, it's looking like on the cheaper phone, we have 7,680 frames per second. On the Mate, the better flagship, it's only 3,840. That's half. Maybe it's a spec mistake here that I'm looking at. What is this stupid site? Full of mistakes. GSM Arena. You can't trust anybody. They get things wrong. They don't care. They're not passionate about writing specs down. They're just like, oh, yeah, whatever, we missed it. Just like B&H Photo, writing the wrong weight for every single item there. If I weighed you right now, it'd be 40 pounds over. What happened to the truth? Another thing about the Mate 40 that might be better, they have a front-facing cam that's super wide, like 18 mils, whereas the other one is like just a regular 26 or some bullshit. It might suck. I don't think it has stabilization. It has digital, but then it'll crop in a bit. Help me decide. Which is the better? Oh, the P40 Pro is so much cheaper, but the Mate, it has new technology, new color science, I think. More dynamic range. I doubt it. Same sensor with better slow-mo on the cheaper cam. And then I go spend $2,100 and get worse slow-mo and a worse camera. Just for the front-facing thing that I may never use, ever. The dilemmas are real, my friend. Oh boy, I did not foresee this. The dynamic range of the sun, even though the brightest light on the planet, I'm still exposed. No smartphone could do it. Every smartphone could do it. The ultra-wide camera on the Mate 40 Pro has less megapixels, therefore more dynamic range. So that might sell me right there. So help me pick down below, or are there better ones? I'm looking, I'm not seeing 7,000 frames per second on any other phone. I think Samsung does the 960, but when I looked side by side, I was blown away at how much better the Huawei looks. The Samsung is just so over sharpened, it looks like trash, whereas the Huawei is looking like filmic. It's softer, but in a pleasing way. They understand. They're like Canon color science in a phone. Pleasing face abilities. Teenage girl-like skin in your volleyball heart. Sign me up to that. What GoPro could compete? What point and shoot? Even a G7X now. Like, what would you do with that thing? The Sony ZV-1? Unless you have a 14 to 35 lens on that thing. I'm moving it back. I know your active stab crops in 15 times. We need to back it down a notch. So I am leaning towards getting one of these. They just sound fun. They really do. And a mic jack, I'd need a USB-C to 3.5 connector, but it could be done. Lav mic, that's a simple setup for super slow-mo. Imagine the street crossings in 7,000 frames per second. I couldn't even, would I even make it? I don't even know if it's usable. Is it like a 1 second burst? Can you even autofocus? I know nothing. I need to test them. I reached out to Huawei. Whoa, that's why they didn't answer. I get it. They did actually answer me. She sounded super excited that I was interested in her cameras. I want them to send me both of these phones so I can test them. I understand that they're not going to let me keep them, but I might even buy one from them. I need to know myself. Unless one of you scrubs has it. And yes, I'm fully aware that Huawei's been banned from the planet for spying on us. So what? We're all curious. We all just want to know what's happening in your house. It's not a bad thing. I trust China. I love the Chinese people. They're close to my heart. So I'll let you look around here. If you want to buy something, I'll give you a good deal. So I'm going to leave. I think smartphones, exciting for video. A lot more. They're more innovative than any of this bullshit coming out. It's better than this piece of shit GoPro that freezes every time I make something fun happen. Oh, it pains me. It hurts, this thing. I'm still waiting for my wind cover. It's gonna make it overheat and freeze even more. Freeze and overheat at the same time. How do you even do it? I'll water cool it. That guy did it. I'm sure I could figure it out. I'm as smart as he is. I'm gonna leave. Thanks for buying it. Subscribe when I'm saying it.